He's heating up!
Alright guys, so today I'm going to bring you a video about Dead Rising 4. Now, if you saw my other videos before pertaining to E3, Dead Rising 4 was the biggest surprise to me. Well, not a huge surprise because it was actually spoiled on Reddit right before the press conference. But when I first heard, I'm like, fuck, Dead Rising 4? Holy shit! So I got like super excited, and Frank West is back. Like I explained before, I don't want to go into it again, but Dead Rising is a very special game to my heart. It's so amazing. I love it so much. It's so much fun. But here's what I gotta say. I recorded a demo of Dead Rising 4. It was the only game that I chose to wait in line to play. All the other games that I've recorded were like, we were in a group and we're like, oh, what do you feel like playing? Well, I want to play this. All right, let's go wait. Like, but this was the game that I was like, I have to play this right now. And I waited, and oh boy, is it so much fun. So what we're gonna do is I have the demo playing right now, as you can see. The demo, I think they gave you 8 minutes to free roam. You could just do anything for 8 minutes. But I'm going to explain to you the new features that I noticed, the things that I talked to the guy that was standing next to me about, that he let me know about the game that he was allowed to tell me, and the things that I found out from just reading recently and talking about, so we can have a little discussion about it. Now, first thing I want to point out is this game is not a remake of Dead Rising 1. A lot of people thought it was because Frank is back in Willamette, which is where the first game took place, in Willamette Mall. This game actually takes place exactly 16 years after the first Dead Rising. 1 year after the first, not the first, what the fuck? 1 year after the third Dead Rising, which actually takes place 15 years after the first one. So this one's 16 years. Another thing that kind of threw me off a bit is how young Frank looks, with it being 16 years ago. Especially since he kind of looked like shit in Off the Record, but then it was brought to my attention that Off the Record was a non-canon what-if story. So that's why they made Frank all like fat and old in that one. But point is that this game is you're back. I don't know, they couldn't tell me any specifics on the story. No release date. They just said holiday 2016. I apologize if you can hear the bird, because he's mad that I knocked his fucking nest down because they put it on my windowsill and I told him not to. And now this bird just sits in my window and yells at me. Back to the point. Okay, Dead Rising. Dead Rising. Hear this shit? Fuck. This bird! Alright, so 16 years after Dead Rising 1, Frank West, he still looks super young and attractive. It is going to be on Xbox One and PS4. It's going to be Xbox One and PC. Let's get to gameplay-wise. Now, the first thing that I asked when I started playing was, can I throw shit at people? And he's like, what do you mean? Of course you can. I'm like, no. I want to take a sledgehammer and I want to pelt a zombie right in his face. And sadly, he told me that the controls are different now. You now always carry 3 weapons on you at the same time. In previous Dead Rising games, Dead Rising 3, you had a weapon wheel that you would upgrade, but pretty much you'd use a weapon wheel. In Dead Rising 1 and 2, you would use the left and right bumpers, or L and 1, to switch in between just items you had in an inventory. In this game, the X button is always your melee weapon. The R2 or right trigger button is always your ranged weapon, so any guns you have, and your left bumper or L1 is always your thrown weapon, so grenades, stuff like that, cans, soda, anything you can throw. He said now you cannot, the only thing you can do with melee weapons and stuff is you can just drop them. You can't throw them anymore, so I was a little disappointed with that, because like one of my favorite things to do is like, oh shit, my sledgehammer's about to run out, let me throw it into this crowd of zombies and knock a bunch of them over and stuff like that. So you can't do that anymore. He said that throwable weapons are now their own class of weapons, so you can't pick things up and throw them anymore. You can't pick up anything and throw it like you used to be able to. It'd have to be a throwing weapon to be thrown. He also confirmed that you will be able to visit the Willamette Mall. I'm guessing that there may be a mission or two that's going to be hardcore nostalgia, just a throwback to Dead Rising 1. There may be a couple missions that take place in there, or maybe you go in and there's a cutscene. I don't know, but he said most of the game takes place in Willamette, the actual like town or city or whatever. I'm not even positive where it is. But he said most of it takes place outside, but you will be able to visit the mall again. the Willamette Mall that Dead Rising 1 took place in. There are combo weapons like Dead Rising 2 and 3. There are combo vehicles like Dead Rising 3, which you can see in the demo where we actually showcase some vehicles and weapons, because they start you off with like this electric axe and like an ice sword and shit. It's really cool. What else did he say? Oh, you can put on like an exosuit now. What the exosuit does is it just gives Frank immense power, so much strength. You can like throw cars, kick cars, punch cars. There are specific weapons that can only be held if you have a power suit, like the flamethrower or the Gatling gun. I think that's all I really have to... Oh! You can take pictures. You know, it wouldn't be Frank without taking pictures, and you can also take selfies, which I think I heard that you can do in Off the Record. I didn't play Off the Record a whole lot because I had it on PC, and you couldn't use a controller, and I'm not a huge fan of keyboard and mouse. I've started to get used to it now, but then I just didn't play it. So I didn't play a lot of Off the Record, but you can now take selfies, and you can use the right stick to change your facial expressions, which I thought was kind of funny because you can just grab zombies and start taking selfies with them. One thing I noticed while playing the game is the frame rate did get a tad bit chunky when you were attacking a lot of monsters. I mean, a lot of zombies, but hey, look at the screen. There's like 500 zombies on screen at once. It's gonna get slow. But overall, the game ran at a clean, whatever frames, faps per second it ran at. I don't really mind whether it's 30 or 60, as long as it's consistent and it doesn't slow down, I don't mind. But the game sadly did slow down a teeny bit when there was a lot going on, which is normal. But other than that, the game didn't really dip. I did notice that the graphically, Frank looked a little unfinished, but I have to remember that this is a demo and the game doesn't come out for another 6 or so months. Frank looked a little, his textures looked kind of bad, but I mean, we can't, what can we expect? It's just a demo, but overall, the things I liked about it is it feels like Dead Rising 3, but upgraded. They made the game a little more convenient with how, like, you have 3 weapons now, but that also kind of disappoints me because now I can't throw shit at people anymore. That was like my favorite thing to do. I really enjoyed Dead Rising 3. I thought it was a lot of fun. Dead Rising 4, when I got to play it, was just as much fun with a lot of added stuff in it with teeny tiny tweaks here and there that I hope that they change. And I'm absolutely excited for it to come. I cannot wait. It is going to be so much fun. I enjoy these games a whole lot. I would love for you to let me know what you think in the comment section below. Are you excited for Dead Rising 4? I know a lot of people, a lot of my viewers at least, don't really have Xboxes. We're more of a Sony family, I guess. So I mean, it's going to be on PC, so if you have a computer, you'd be able to play it. Just hopefully that the PC version runs correctly. Because Dead Rising 3, when it first came out, was kind of in shambles. Kind of ran like shit. So hopefully the game runs correctly on PC when it comes out. I apologize again that there is no sound. I cut it out and I put music because why do you want to hear fucking con sounds? Just large crowds, and there was no sound coming out of the television anyway. But I'm really excited. I wonder if you are, because I know I am. And damn, this is going to be a lot of fun. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, for sticking around so long and enjoying the content. I think I have a Final Fantasy 15 video lined up, and I have a Kingdom Hearts video lined up. And then once those are done, we will jump back into our regular scheduled programming. And hopefully that the week continues to be average with less sadness. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.
Bye. 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 Bye.